Hello, I am Smikey, and today we are going to recover our dining room chairs. The old vinyl is torn and worn out. We are also going to change the foam padding. It feels pretty worn out. So I am going to get the chair flipped over and get started. Pull up a chair and do yours. I have the chair flipped over and just resting on a second chair. My wife will be giving me a hand. These are the tools that we have found to be the easiest. A hammer and just a small blade flat screwdriver. Either a pair of side cutters or some needle nose pliers or bolt.
So we've got to remove this back off the chair. Depending on what chair you have, you may not have this backing material. Ours does. So what I found is easiest is take this little flat blade screwdriver. You come into the middle of your staple and you just gently tap it up and kind of get underneath. And then you can pull the staple up, and then you can come in with a set of needle nose pliers or side cutters and just pull the staple out. And then just rinse and repeat the whole way around.
So now that this fabric is off, we have access to the back of the chair. Any of these staples that are broken or didn't come out, go around and pull the rest of them out with your pliers. Or if you need to, just knock them flush with the hammer. That way you don't cut yourself and things go smoothly when we put things back together. We did dig into the wood a little bit getting the staples out, but I'm not too concerned.
Okay, so the next thing is all these chairs will be held down by something. This one just has 4 screws in the corners. So as soon as we take off that, the cushion part will come off from the chair frame. Now that's done, and just getting off the cushion, just kind of knock it off. Might be stuck on with some grime. So this is the vinyl, and then you've got the cushion, the seat back, and this one's got a little bit of a backing material, so we've got to get this off, get the staples out of here, and then start getting the staples out of the vinyl. Alright, so we have the staples out of here, and so this backing material can come off. And now we have access to the back of the cushion. One of the things that we want to keep in mind is just kind of how things are laid out. So when we go to put things back together, we can do that. If you can see here, the corners on this cushion were done last, and the sides were done before that. So that's what we want to do. So we're going to work around here, get the staples, and get this seat material off. Okay, so now the vinyl is all off. There's quite a few pit marks on the back of the wood. So what I've been doing is just taking a hammer and just kind of scraping off the high marks. All of this is going to be covered. This is going to face down, you're not going to see it or feel it. And then just make sure that you get out all those staples. And so this is This is the wood backing. The two notches right here are go up against the backrest. So we are going to be adding 2 more vent holes per seat wood backing. The reason why we are doing that is we are moving up from this 1-inch foam. It might have been 1.5 when it started out, but it's pretty compressed, to a 3-inch memory foam. And so as you sit on there, there's going to be a lot more airflow trying to exit the seat. And that's it. So we are going to get the rest of the chairs done, and then we will show you when we start to put things back together. And we will talk about the materials we bought, where we bought them from, and why we decided on those. So this is the foam that we ended up buying. It's a 3-inch memory foam. And that is the price right there. But we ended up buying this from Fabricland with the membership, and it was on sale for 50% off. That is cheaper than we could get on Amazon. This is what we will cut the foam with. This is what we are going to do. We are going to use the bottom cushion backing material, the part you sit on, as a guide for the electric knife. It works pretty slick, and we will show you that in a minute. A lot of people were showing using a hot wire to cut the foam. We could not build one that worked and would need to get one shipped, which would slow down the project. Plus the fumes that would have come off the foam as it melted would not be good. We tried tracing this out, but what we found was the easiest was just using the cushion base as a guide for the blade. You can see how nice the knife cuts. This is a dual bladed knife. It is always important to make sure your wife has the right tools for your next project. Just gently pulling on the cut off material seemed to work best. My wife helped a lot by making sure the blade was cutting straight up and down and not tapered or at a bad angle. That is this foam cushion done. It actually cuts pretty well. I thought the electric knife would do a lot more tearing, but it didn't do that. So that is awesome. And this is the mess. We have a little bit of foam down here, but really, hardly any mess. I thought that knife would just rip this foam to pieces, but it actually did quite well. I'm impressed with how smooth the cuts are. I would definitely recommend going this way, and then you don't have to deal with the toxic fumes of the hot wire. Now let's take a look at the fabric. So this is the material that we bought off Amazon. We found it cheaper buying it through Amazon than through like Fabricland or any fabric supply stores. It did come folded. I am drilling the extra vent holes. For attaching the fabric, we only want to temporarily place the staples. We want to angle the staples so they are easy to remove. We will be removing them multiple times. Pick a staple length that is appropriate for your base thickness. Once we get the fabric in a position, we start with one side. My wife smooths and gently stretches the fabric, then I put in more temporary staples. Then we move on to the other sides and repeat the process.
So this is an example cushion that we have already done. In fact, this is the last one to be done. So the first thing that we're going to start off with is the back, which is right here. So that's the cutout for the back part of the chair. And here's the other side as well. So how we were doing the backs is we pull this part in tight. This is the back of the chair. And then we pull this corner in tight, and then we kind of do a 2-fold piece right there. And it's just going to have one seam which faces the wood on the back of the chair. So that's what we'll be doing here.
We found there ended up being too much material in the corner for our liking, and it just felt too bulky. We decided to cut away some of the material. A word of caution, don't cut too much material away in the corner. If the corner flexes just right, it could expose the material that has been cut. Luckily, ours worked out good, but we also could have cut less out.
Okay, so now we've got this corner done and this corner over here. So we're going to pull this side tight for the final tightness. So when I put the gun up here, we want it to be straight on so that the nail gets seated.
Again, my wife is smoothing and gently stretching the fabric.
This is the back all done. So once you're done, you can come around and cut off the extra material. And we were kind of doing that along the way as well. So this is that's the front there. And that's kind of what the back looks like. And that's the side profile. So we pulled the fabric enough that it rounded the corner. So now we need to put the material on the back here.
Okay, we've got the cushion face down on another chair, and then we have the chair lined up with the cushion correctly. And on this particular chair, how it gets attached to the cushion is 4 screws in the corner. So we're going to put the 4 screws in. We're going to suck them up with the drill, but we're going to hold the cushion tight while we run them down. Now on this chair, we did have another material that was underneath this. When we went to go put it back on, it just wasn't in the best of condition, and we evaluated the situation and decided that we were fine with not putting that material on. A lot of chairs, including this white one that this is sitting on, does not have material right here. We are going to leave that. So this chair is done. So all 6 chairs are now done. And this is how they turned out. So that's how the back looks. And that's how the front looks. So I think that's acceptable there. Now on a couple of these, the fabric that we got was folded. I'm not too concerned about that seam. I think sitting on it over time will actually pull that out. But that's it. Pretty happy with that. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.